This is April Tinsley. She's the cutest little thing, right? She was born on March 18th of 1980 and lived in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It was April 1st, 1988. She had gotten out of school early that day. She asked if she could go over to a friend's house to play. So April's mom, Janet, said, of course, you can go. And her mom reminded her to be home between 3:30 and 4-ish. And she was normally really good about coming home when her mom said to. By the time 4 p.m. rolled around, April had not made it back home. So her mom called Nicole's mom, and she told her that April and Nicole were playing at a playground, and they left this playground a little after 3 p.m. She realized that she had left her umbrella at Nicole's house. So Nicole actually was going to a different friend's house, so they kind of parted ways there, and then April made the walk by herself back to Nicole's house. However, Nicole's mom said that she never made it to the house to get her umbrella. So this is when her mom started to panic, obviously. So her and her husband and a bunch of friends and neighbors went out and looked for her physically. And after they didn't find her, they decided it was time to go ahead and call the police. At around 6 p.m., Janet called the Fort Wayne police. Detectives went out looking for April. They didn't find anything, and they weren't able to come up with any explanation or any answers, so they assumed that she had been abducted. On April 4th, and this was 72 hours after she had gone missing, a man was on a jog, and he was just running along when he saw a body. It was off the side of the road about 40 feet away in a ditch, and unfortunately, this was April's body. So now, obviously, this case has taken a tragic turn from a missing persons investigation to a murder. And based on the physical evidence, police believe that April was sadly suffocated, and then sadly the autopsy confirmed that she had been sexually assaulted. On April 5th, a motorist came forward and said, I saw a blue truck just kind of chilling on Declib County Road. And soon after that, a witness called the police and let them know that she had actually seen a little blonde girl walking on the side of the road. She had hearts on her pant legs, and she was walking where April was last seen. And the witness said that when April tried to cross the street, someone in a blue pickup truck pulled up next to her. Said that April didn't seem to be scared or look like she didn't know this person, so she figured everything was okay. She basically just said that she saw the truck pull up, and then the truck and April were gone. And she really thought it was an arranged pickup, like just a father picking up his daughter, and didn't think anything of it. Now, a lot of us have seen people getting picked up by people. You don't always think to call the police. And on April 7th, police released a sketch of what the witness described the man to look like. A ton of tips and information came into the police from just local community members who wanted to help. And many of these leads had mentioned a man named Moose. Basically, Moose was in a local gang, and he looked really similar to the sketch that was put out. The witness was able to pick out his photo from a lineup of pictures. But that was really it as far as evidence went. People were claiming that this Moose guy was going up to children at the park and saying inappropriate things to them, scaring them, but detectives were never able to find any physical evidence that linked him back to the crime scene. Now we're going 2 years forward to May 21st of 1990. Police received a call from this guy saying that someone had written a message on his barn. The message said, I kill 8-year-old April Rudy Tinsley. Did you find her other shoe? Haha, I will kill again. And this note was found 10 miles from where her body was found. And when this surfaced, it really scared the community. People started calling in tips again, saying, hey, I know someone that writes like this. I know someone who says, haha. But police weren't able to come up with anything solid, and the case went cold again for 15 years. On March 25th of 2004, a little girl around the same age that April was when she was taken found a note. It was in a Ziploc bag and was on yellow paper. The note was like inside the bag, and it said, hi honey, I've been watching you. I am the same person that kidnapped, raped, and killed April Tinsley. Here's a present for you. You are my next victim. And as you can tell, this note had similar punctuation and grammar errors that the other one had. And this wasn't the only note that was found. Everyone that was getting these notes, which was obviously scaring the living hell out of everybody, had young daughters between the age of 5 and 9. And soon after this, a 4th letter showed up. And this time, he included nude pictures of himself. It seemed like this person wanted to get caught. They left that note, left condom with DNA inside of it. And when they tested all these packages, they all had DNA that was the same DNA that was found at April Tinsley's crime scene. But the DNA didn't match anyone in the national database. And as time goes on, obviously technology is getting better in the crime world. We're seeing a lot of crimes get solved with newer technology that just wouldn't have been able to be solved, you know, like 30 years ago. And one of the new technologies is called phenotyping. There's this company called Paraben Nanolabs, and they basically use a DNA sample from the crime scene, and it creates a digital sketch picture of what the person would look like based on their DNA. And after they ran the report, the results showed that this person was British or German, had brown hair, green or hazel eyes, and very fair skin. They were finally able to track down April's killer. This summer, July 15th, 2018, John D. Miller, who is 59, was charged with her murder. And basically what has been happening nowadays is, you know, more and more people are spitting in the little tube for ancestry DNA or whatever. I've done it. And there's a ton of different gene databases that have thousands of DNA records stored. And even if someone in your family has done one of these DNA tests, it can be traced back to you. Basically, they found his DNA, and they always had it, but it wasn't until recently that they were able to plug it into a public database of genealogy, track it back to one of his relatives, get some trash out of his trash can, and then they were able to connect that DNA back to him. A few weeks after they found the match, they went to John D. Miller's house, took some of his trash. Once the match was confirmed and they were positive that this man was the killer, who's an idiot, thinking that he's gonna get away with this and purposely leaving little DNA clues to all these different people in these creepy notes. He clearly did not think they were going to be able to do this. Clearly he had no idea where technology was going. And so they approached him at his house. They knocked on the door, asked him, "Do you know what this is about?" And he said, "April Tinsley." So as horrible as this whole case is, how heart-wrenching and terrible for the family, you have to at least smile for the fact that they have answers. You know, this family can finally know what happened, know that this person's going to be incarcerated, and justice will be served for April. But it certainly doesn't make up for all the time that April's family has spent without her, all the things that she was going to do in her life, maybe a future family that she was going to have that was all just shattered. Friends and family have set up a garden dedicated to April, April's Garden, and it's just kind of a place where they can remember her and feel her spirit and feel all the love that other people around her had for her. But that's it for me today, guys. I hope you're having a great day. Stay safe, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.